Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Al. Today I have a special guest, and no, it's not a mirror image, it is my sister, Shannon. And we are going to do her family famous BBQ pork ribs. And yep, whenever she says she's cooking pork ribs, you say, I'll be there. Got it? So what is the first step?
First step is to really get them out of the wrapping and actually just make sure they're good and clean before you put them in the water. So then you just get a stock pot like this, and you would just get the ribs. You don't have to cut them or anything, and you just put them around the edge of the pot like that. And if you've got a few, just put them in a circular thing, and then you just circle them and put it in there.
And how long do they cook for on the stove?
It's cooked for a minimum of about 40 minutes.
Right.
If they're a bit thicker, I might do it for, say, an hour. It actually kind of doesn't matter. Like, I wouldn't cook them for hours, but you know, around 40 to 45 minutes to an hour is how I would normally do it.
And do you put the ribs in cold water, or do you put them in on the stove once it's come to the boil?
Either's fine, but I just do it from cold water.
Okay.
So then you just put the lid on, and then bring it to the boil, just watch it, and then you are to simmer it. So that's what we're gonna do.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Let's go. So now we're on to the sauce.
It's very complicated. I hope you're ready.
I've even got the garlic chopped for you, so it's even less complicated than an already uncomplicated recipe. All right, so we're going to add in the garlic first. Is that right?
Yep, straight in.
Then I've already measured out the brown sugar, then tomato sauce, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Growing up, we always used to call this hot sauce. It was hot, peppery. Okay, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika is the barbecue sauce.
That's very nifty.
I know.
Measuring spoon, where'd you get that? Good stir. That's it, and just make sure. Now you can actually do this sauce way ahead of time if you wanted to, and just have it ready in the fridge, ready to go. So it's kind of...
Can you do this in bulk? Like, can you have lots of people over and do these ribs?
Absolutely. I've done up to 3 or 4 times. You just multiply it by however many. So I would say that this amount of sauce would cover about 2 racks. So if you're doing 4 racks, then you double it, and then if you're doing...
Yep.
Just make sure that it's all...
And that the work here is done until
the
ribs are cooked.
The ribs are cooked.
Okay.
Boiled, basically.
Yep. All right. And then can you just generally tell us what you do after that? So when the ribs come out of the water,
yep.
Do you lay them on a baking tray?
Yep.
Do you
lay them on a baking tray, or in a, something that you would make lasagna in, just something where the ribs can actually fit. And you just basically use a pastry brush or even a little bit bigger, like a paintbrush, to actually layer the sauce on. And you do kind of 1 good coat, put it on the barbie, and then you use the rest of the sauce to just keep basting it.
And that keeps it nice and moist.
Correct.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's wait until our ribs have been on the boil, and we'll come back and we'll baste them for the first base. And then we have a special guest who's going to cook them on the barbecue. It's his thing, and he won't let anyone else in the family do it. Yeah, so we'll meet him in a minute. Okay, so we've brought the ribs to the boil, and the scum has risen to the top. We're just going to grab a spoon and remove the scum from the top as you go.
And turn it right down, making sure as well I just push them normally back down under the water.
Alright, so put the lid on, simmer it for 40 minutes.
40 minutes starts now.
So we're back, and our ribs have cooked and poached on the stovetop for a good 40 minutes. And now it's time to baste them in the first lot of basting of the sauce. So take it away, Shani. Tell me what you're going to do.
I just dip the brush in, just brush it on just like that.
Yep.
Nothing, just make sure you get it all over.
You don't need to leave these to dry out before you do this, do you?
No.
Awesome. Slapdash. Love it.
And you can see, because they've been poached, because some ribs you would bake, because they've been, you know, in the water,
Yeah.
they're really lovely and tender and succulent.
Yeah.
And then so really when you're doing the barbecue, you're just kind of giving it a bit of a crisp on the outside.
Yeah.
And then, but when you cut through it, it should be lovely and juicy in the middle.
Yum.
So, yeah, so just make sure you get your brush in there at all the little...
And what do you usually eat yours with?
Normally we like a bit of sweet potato, kind of a salad, or just some wedges.
Yep.
Or a slaw.
Yum.
So, yeah.
All right, so thank you for sharing with us your recipe for ribs, and it's now over to Rob he's getting the barbecue nice and hot outside. So we're going to take these out and cook them up finish them off on the barbecue. Right, so I'm out here with Rob. Rob, say hi.
Hi,
he
everyone.
is the master barbecuer, and Rob is going to show us his tips and tricks for cooking up these beautiful tender ribs on the barbecue. Take it away.
This is Shannon Colby's special dish, and she is absolutely awesome at it. So all I do is I just make them look good at the end. So what we do is we've got our ribs. They've been sitting. They're obviously already cooked. They've been sitting in the amazing sauce, so it's really sucked into that for quite a long time. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on, and I'm just going to hit them really hard on a really hot flame, and that's going to really char up all of that juice on them. And then I'm just going to keep turning, baste, turn, baste, and it just gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and the sauce on it is just beautiful because they're really well cooked already, and it makes them really tender and soft. I do them on the grill, yeah, because I just find I get more heat through on the grill, so the grill sort of sends it all around them as well. And also, the way my barbecue works, it actually has some hot spots on it, so I really find that there's a hot spot here, it really chars off that top bit quite a lot, and others, so I'm always moving it around. I just find the actual flame interacts with the sauce. Sometimes you get a bit of a fire, you get all sorts of stuff going on. It just adds to the sort of drama of it all. So this is it dry,
Right.
and then we're putting the baste on just to wet it all again. I lost a couple of little bits on there because it was just a little bit too hot. But we're getting really close now. This is caramelizing well, but you can see again it changes the whole sort of texture of this by putting the extra baste on. It just moistens it all again.
This is your thing though, Rob.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. And they taste so good.
Yum, that's really good.
All right, I think I'll do one more,
All right.
and then we'll get them off.
Everyone, okay, so our ribs are ready. Rob's gone out for a run, so we're going to do the taste test. Shani?
Okay.
All right, so you pick up your fork. Let's go. Oh, I'm so excited. They are very good ribs.
Very tasty.
And they're really easy. It's not complicated at all.
Not complicated at all.
Oh, well, thanks for sharing.
That's all right.
And thanks
now, just because Rob's not here, his tip on eating ribs is that when you've eaten your rib, never put your bone back on your own plate. Put it in a communal bowl or on somebody else's plate so they don't know how many you've had.
Exactly. Well, that's a pretty good tip. Go, Rob. This recipe is super easy, so I really hope you give it a go, and I really hope you enjoy. Thanks, Shani.
No worries. Let us know how you enjoy them.